The future of medicine is no longer a distant vision. It's happening now. Join PharmiVon Media for an exclusive conversation with Dr. Tathagata Dutta. Watch now and be part of the healthcare revolution.
A very good evening to the distinguished viewers, esteemed healthcare professionals, respected academicians, researchers, industry leaders, and the members of the global scientific community. It is my immense pleasure to welcome you to this exclusive edition of the PharmiVon podcast series, a platform dedicated to fostering meaningful dialogue at the intersection of science, innovation, healthcare, and leadership. So today's discussion explores a subject that stands at the forefront of modern medicine and pharmaceutical advancement. From molecules to medicine, revolutionizing healthcare through pharmaceutical innovation. Because that is what the future of healthcare will not merely be defined by, just by discovering new medicines, but also by reimagining how therapies are designed, delivered, and translated into tangible patient outcomes. And as we often say, innovation begins in the laboratory, but transformation begins when knowledge is shared. So this exclusive podcast is proudly presented in collaboration with BioXyra Summit 2026, which is a premier global platform which brings together researchers, healthcare professionals, innovators, academicians, industry leaders to exchange ideas and discuss emerging advancements in healthcare, biotechnology, pharmaceutical sciences, and innovation-driven research. The summit aims to foster collaboration, inspire scientific excellence, and accelerate solutions that shapes the future of global healthcare. It is now my distinct honor and a privilege to introduce our esteemed guest for today's exclusive session. Joining us is Dr. Tathagata Dutta, President of Jodas Expoim Pvt Limited, an internationally recognized pharmaceutical scientist, innovator, researcher, and strategic leader whose contributions have significantly shaped the landscape of advanced drug delivery and translational pharmaceutical research. And as we go on, Sir holds a Bachelor of Pharmacy, Master of Pharmacy, and Doctorate in Pharmaceutical Sciences from Dr. Hari Singh Gaur University, Sagar. And he further pursued advanced postdoctoral research at the prestigious University of Queensland, Australia, focusing on RNA interference therapeutics for cancer management. Complementing his scientific expertise, he is also an alumnus of the Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta, widely regarded as one of India's pioneering contributors to the advanced drug delivery systems, gene delivery technologies, and RNA therapeutic nanomedicine. His work has been instrumental in advancing the frontiers of the modern therapeutics. His area of expertise also encompasses liposomes, nanoparticles, RNA therapeutics, and gene therapy, tissue-targeted drug delivery systems, so much more. An accomplished inventor, author, researcher, Dr. Dutta has published extensively in internationally reputed scholarly book chapters and serves on the editorial boards of several global scientific publications. So it is an absolute honor to welcome you to the PharmiVon exclusive podcast in collaboration with BioXyra Summit 2026. And as we have n number of questions to go for and n number of views that we want to grasp on, I would like to ask you what inspired you to enter the pharmaceutical sciences and dedicate your career, towards developing innovative therapies capable of transforming patient care and improving healthcare outcomes globally.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to this evening and allowing me to share my opinion and views to your learned viewers. Very good evening to all your viewers who are watching this program. So this is something which I have told in many of my interviews earlier, that from my childhood I wanted to become an innovator, not really a scientist per se, but an innovator doing all crazy innovations, because there was a character. Obviously, first was Professor Calculus in Tintin's comics, and then there was a innovator in called Professor Shanku, which has been penned by the famous filmmaker Satyajit Ray, and this Professor Shanku always used to do some crazy innovations, and that always used to, much before I knew what was science, I wanted to become an innovator. And so my fate was sealed that time, when before I started learning science. But then afterwards, when I started entering deeper into the science, I loved it really, and I wanted to become an astrophysicist. And it was something which was still, I love physics. That, and obviously at this stage, I believe that all science and in the highest level is all the same. So coming back to the point, when after my 12th, when I was about to take admission for my graduation in physics, then there was a physician in my native place, Dr. Binay Kumar Sarkar, who used to treat people, with only 1 rupee, charging them 1 rupee. And he told me that, why don't you become a pharmaceutical scientist? So you will be doing innovation, you will be doing everything what you want to do, you will enjoy the work, and you will be touching the lives of people. And that was the time, pharmacy was at its infancy in India. That time, pharmacy means only opening medical stores. Pharmacy means even when I started studying pharmacy, many people were, they commented to my parents that you have only one son, and why did you send him to do pharmacy, whether he will open a medical store or what. But I was very much focused, and I am thankful to God that people aspire to become many things in their childhood, but there are only very few people who do become what they wanted to be. So I wanted to become a scientist, and today I am a scientist, and I am proud to say that I am a pharmacist first, then I am a scientist. So that's all about my journey.
That comes from so much of depth, sir. And we all know that your work has significantly contributed to the advanced drug delivery system, all including liposomes, nanoparticles, centromeres, and targeted delivery technology, of course. So, how has the field of drug delivery evolved over the last 2 decades, and where do you foresee the next major scientific breakthrough emerging?
So drug delivery, drug targeting, that was, that was very much at its infancy when I was doing my master's. And my mentor, Professor N.K. Jain, was, he's an icon. He's a colossus in his own field. And he used to do such type of work. And for my master's project, he suggested to do something on dendrimers, which was a very, very upcoming thing in those days, which I'm talking about is like late 90s. And he told me that do something on dendrimers, whatever you do, but this is the latest delivery system. And in India, I am the only person who is working on that. So I started reading certain literatures, and I found that these dendrimers have a potential in delivering the genes, especially the DNA and the RNA. So I told I will do gene delivery with dendrimers. So it was a master's project, and lab was not very much equipped. Nothing was there for gene therapy and all those things. But I'm thankful to my professor that he accepted my idea, and he said, okay, I will send you to places where they do work on gene therapy. And he sent me to CDRI, Central Drug Research Institute, Lucknow, and then to Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology, Hyderabad. So I synthesized the dendrimer in my lab, and then carried that, and then with their nationalized labs, I did my master's work. So all because of my mentor, Professor N.K. Jain. And obviously, subsequently, I had my mentors in industry as well as my postdoc. And apart from my parents, they are the people who had shaped my career and probably contributed to, the advancement of the science.
do you believe what personalized and precision medicine will, fundamentally transform the manner in which medicines are designed, developed, and delivered?
Yes. So, like as I said, when my during my masters, when I was doing my work on dendrimer-based drug delivery, and when I was doing gene therapy, that time there were people in my lab, my seniors. They used to say that try to do something on tablets, because at least you will get a job. Otherwise, for these things, who will give you a job? And today, gene therapy, if you see the category of gene therapy and this oligonucleotide therapeutics, there are 25 US FDA approved molecules in the market now, and almost 300 molecules are under different stages of clinical trial. So the entire paradigm of therapeutics is shifting, and that I could smell from I can say 25 years back. So, but if you ask me about the personalized medicine, I am not very much optimistic about that. I might be wrong, but I am not very much optimistic about that, because it is somehow I feel that making personalized medications will not be that much commercially viable, because the cost of preparing these medications are huge. And for every patient, if you start doing that personalized medicine, and especially for smaller countries where the population is less, that is okay. Still, it is feasible. For countries where your healthcare is taken care of completely by the government, it is completely all right. But for a country where, like India, where everything is out of our pocket expenses, where there is, even if you go to a medical shop, or if you go to a pharmacy, or even if you go to the hospital emergency, everywhere there is a queue. How do you think we can come up with personalized medications? So this is something as a scientist, I love to believe that it will be available to our people, but as a industry leader or as a common man, it's still hard for me to believe that this personalized medicine, at least in India, will become a reality. Today we have this antisense oligonucleotide therapeutics or cell and gene therapy medications. One dose costs something between 1 crore to 30 crores per dose, and this does not hurt the people in other countries where completely it is provided by the government, irrespective of the cost. But in our country, even a paracetamol tablet also has to be bought from your pocket, and there people are unable to afford these medications. So still we have a long way to go. Government has to bring all these essential medications under the government coverage, irrespective of their cost. Government has, first thing we are requesting the government to at least waive off that tax on these medications, and so that people at least get some relief. So let us see what happens.
So, sir, as discussed earlier, you have worked extensively in RNA therapeutics and gene delivery, including research related to cancer management. So, what potential do you envision for RNA therapeutics in shaping the future landscape of the healthcare?
RNA therapeutics is amazing. RNA therapeutics is amazing, and there lies the future. And as I say that all the RNA therapeutics, so it is not only therapeutics. I will not use the word only RNA therapeutics. It is used for prophylactic use also, like RNA-based vaccines are there nowadays in the market, mRNA-based. COVID has shown that to us. So the entire RNA molecule itself is amazing. It has that uniqueness, So it has that much of stability which is required. unlike your DNA molecule, which is like rock stable, and that might create some problem as well. But the RNAi has that stability versus instability. So whenever it is required, it gets degraded as well. The body clears it off from the circulation. So anything. So the fundamental thing of pharmacology or the therapeutics or pharmacokinetics remains the same, that whatever enters the body should be cleared out of the body. Should not be something which is permanent. We don't want anything, and especially playing in the genetic level, in the molecular level, that might be dangerous. So RNA has those uniqueness. RNA is not a large molecule per se, as compared to, like when you talk about monoclonal antibodies and all, they are very big molecules, huge molecules. RNA is a small, not such a huge molecular weight and size. So what happens is that can be very easily handled in your regular fill finish manufacturing plants as well. It is easily scalable. So the commercial viability is immense for the RNA-based therapeutics as well as the RNA-based vaccines, both. So when we come to the therapeutics, RNA-based therapeutics, gene silencing is an area which, is something which I have worked on for, since my postdoc days. And that's something very much fascinates me, that, the gene which is, causing any problem in your body, that gene is silenced silently without causing any disruption to the normal functions of the body. Even today, if I take a paracetamol tablet, that also have certain side effects. Paracetamol is an age-old molecule, but that still has some adverse effects. But these are pretty much safer and acts as a very low dose, and it can cure your some of those extremely complex diseases. And so that's the still our human knowledge has explored. It's like the tip of the iceberg of about the RNA therapeutics, but that is the future of therapeutics, RNA, whether it is in prophylaxis or in therapeutics.
And so, as you talked about commercial viability, what are the most significant scientific, regulatory or commercial challenges that must be addressed to facilitate broader adoption of these technologies?
So the regulators, or even as a scientist, I myself, because again, before I am a scientist, I am a pharmacist. So what we are more concerned about, more than the efficacy of a molecule, is the safety. That the molecule, I am entering a foreign body inside, into the foreign substance into the body, and it should not cause any adverse effect. It should not cause any anything serious reaction into the body that might harm the person. The safety should be the utmost concern, and the definition of safety is changing from time to time. It is people. So when we started our career, that time it was like death or disability was considered as. So if somebody is not dying or somebody is not having something like permanent disability, then it is safe. It was considered safe. Now it is like there are a lot of things the regulators look through, like genotoxicity and all. Nowadays, the nitrosamine risk assessment is done. Nitrosamine impurities are a big thing now, because nitrosamines are carcinogenic in nature. They can cause cancer. But again, if you go deeper into the things, many of our food substances we consume, especially the food, some of the processed food which we buy and we consume, they contain nitrosamines. And especially in countries like India, where we don't have that much stringent surveillance system and all, we do consume a lot of this nitrosamines every day. But yes, that's a dangerous thing. So the regulators are more concerned about these newer therapeutics, because again, though coming back to paracetamol, though it is, again, it has certain side effects, it has certain adverse effects, but still the molecule is age old. We know all the good, bad, ugly about paracetamol. That is not known about the RNAi therapeutics today, or we don't know about the mRNA-based vaccines which are in the market, which got emergency approval during the COVID times. So we need another few decades to know whether they are causing some long-term damage to the body or not. Like we are giving mRNA vaccines, it's eliciting very good immune response. That's amazing. But are we sure that it will not cause autoimmune disorders, which are much deadlier things? So, there are a lot of autoimmune disorders even that can cause permanent multi-organ failure and leading to death. So these questions remain unanswered. So though I am from industry, but I don't see the regulators as my enemies. Instead, and regulators are also like people like me. Some of my students, some of my colleagues, friends, seniors, they are working in regulatory agencies, and so their job is to just ensure that the medicines which we are developing or we are manufacturing, which is finally going to the market, first of all, it is 100% safe. It will not harm anybody. After that, we'll consider whether it will be able to cause some benefit or not. But first, it should be safe. And that concern is still there. Even though I am working in this field for more than 23 years in this RNA therapeutics, but still, this is something which still haunts me, because we didn't have enough time. We need another few more decades, after which we can say, yes, we have enough data, because again, whatever the molecules are there in the market, it is administered to a very limited patient population, that too for a very limited period of time. So we have to give hundreds and thousands of patients as to use it for decades, and they have to remain healthy, after which we can completely say that these are totally safe.
So also, if we talk about what are the promising, frontiers and features in the modern therapeutics, what comes in my mind is nanomedicines. Nanomedicine is often, regarded as one of the most promising frontiers in the modern therapeutics. So how do you foresee nanomedicine transforming the pharmaceutical development over the coming years?
Nanomedicine, first thing is nanomedicine, whether it is delivery system based or non-delivery system based. Nanomedicine, the first thing is that significant, many folds reduction in dose. So once the dose goes down and your efficacy goes up, obviously your toxicity also goes down. So because this nanomedicine, the basic thing of nanomedicine is that these nanomedicines will reach the which Paul Ehrlich dreamt more than 100 years back about the magic bullets. So which will go only and hit the target site, and it will not go anywhere else. So these nanomedicines are more like those magic bullets. They are very nano in size, and they will be going to the target sites. It will be only modulating the target thing only, and they will not have any off-target effect. So that the adverse effects or the side effects or whatever we talk about of any therapeutics is because of the off-target effects. So, or you can say in common language, these are all collateral damage. So that will be avoided. So obviously, the safety profile will immensely increase, the efficacy will immensely increase, and most importantly, from the commercial point of view, which I can foresee, is the price will drastically reduce. The price will drastically reduce, which becomes more affordable to the people. So because I belong to a country where most of the people, they don't have access to clean drinking water. They don't have. There are still many places in my country where people don't have access to good food. Forget about medicines. So I know what hunger is. I know what starvation is. And from that point of view, I can talk about that if the medicines, the price of the medicines drastically reduces, that will have immense effect. That can reach to each and every people in India. And obviously some of the countries in other continents as well. Like I have a long time back, I attended one conference in Paris, organized by World Health Organization, and there, they were talking about some of the rare diseases, which not rare diseases, some of the infectious diseases which happens in very much developing countries, in especially in African continent or South America and all. So one case we were discussing there was something called sleeping sickness. So sleeping sickness is caused by a bite of a fly called tsetse fly, and it's the parasite is known as Trypanosoma gambiense. So when it bites the person starts feeling sleepy, and he or she enters into deep sleep, and then within that, because the parasite actually affects the brain, and there are treatments available, and that treatment has to be given to the spinal cord. The injection has to be given in the spinal cord. So the common procedure, because this is a very delicate organ, and even in India also, the common procedure is the person is admitted in the hospital, taken into the operation theater, and a doctor administers the injection into the spinal cord through a cannula or something, because the chances of infection to the brain is very high. But I have seen that, and it still haunts me, that people are sitting under a tree, and one Medicare person, paramedic or somebody, but not a doctor, he is just injecting into the spine of the people. Just like in India, you must have seen how the veterinary doctors will inject the cattle. They are injecting the people under the tree. Can you imagine? This is still the condition of therapeutics across the globe. Most of the people have that, they don't have that bare minimum access to healthcare, clean hygiene and all. And there, I nowadays, as I grow up, I started feeling that discovering new medicines or breakthrough medicines is not enough. It has to reach to the people. So I tell my juniors, I tell my students that you should not be a good scientist, but you should also be like a good postman, delivering letters every door. So delivering the good news of science, delivering the fruits or the benefits of your invention.
So amongst what we talked about rare diseases, so among cancer therapy, vaccines, and other emerging areas, which field excites you the most, and why is it so?
So now, I have obviously the cancer was something which always excites me because of its unique, biology. Because when the cells become cancerous, they are like, they are rebels. They are rebels. In a body, we have all the cells, all the tissues, everything, they function in an harmony. They are like in a society. So when I talk to a undergrad student, I tell them that, it's like a family, or human body is like a family. So father, mother, kids, everything. So when there is enough food, everyone will eat. But when there is less food, mother will starve, but the kids will eat. So that's how it goes in at least I have seen in every family's mothers are mothers. And I have great respect for mothers. I have great love for everyone's mothers. So that's what I want to say. So when a particular cell becomes cancerous, it just breaks that order. it starts thinking that I am the entity. I should eat, I should reproduce, I should grow. Forget about the body. And then it starts propagating the message to all the cells across the body. This uniqueness actually interests me. But otherwise, lot of people across the globe have worked on cancer and they're still working. So that is not something, which is a rare disease, and neither it is a neglected disease, because the pharmaceutical industry is after diseases like cancer because the money lies there. What excites me nowadays is the rare diseases, the genetic disorders that affects the newborns, the kids, and obviously irrespective of the economic condition of the parents, it affects them. And when I see them in the hospitals, in the clinics, where they come and say, Doctor, is there any way? Yeah, can't we do something to help the child? I really feel the pain and I want to help. And that is the thing. I keep reading, I keep discussing, I keep learning, and I think I should spend more time on discovery of medicines for the pediatric population, the infants, the neonates. They are really helpless and they are the future.
So, sir, what are the most pressing challenges the pharmaceutical companies face today while translating breakthrough research into accessible therapies for patients?
See, pharmaceutical companies, uh, to first of all, to run pharmaceutical companies, you need a lion's heart. Because you have to invest huge money, you have to have a lot of patience, and then if you are lucky, you will see the fruits. I know people, I don't want to name, they are very close to me, but I know there are stalwarts who have invested their every penny. They have become bankrupt, and the molecule discovered by their company have come to the market, created, worldwide things, worldwide buzz, and placed our country in a global map. But the person didn't get anything. He is still starving. So that's, but still, he takes pride saying, I'm the first. I have done it first. So that is the biggest thing. And now, as the regulations are becoming more and more stringent, competition is becoming steeper. Most of the pharmaceutical companies, they are tempted not to invest on innovation or drug discovery, rather than to take the easier route of generic, biosimilars, and all those things, where easy money is there, guaranteed return is there. So I'm scared if this is the future, then after few years we will not have new molecules at all, whether it is in pharma or in biopharma. So that thing is missing today. Today we don't have people like Dr. Anji Reddy, who started Dr. Reddy's, or Parvinder Singh ji of Ranbaxy. They were like, very, very passionate about drug discovery. Doing generic research is like just to run the show, to earn enough so that they can invest on drug discovery. But this drug discovery pipeline is not there. Most of the companies are now, that is the reason, taking the easier routes, whether it is in the US, whether it is in India. And the third biggest thing has come up, is another route for earning easy money, is the services thing. So lot of Indian companies are just doing job work for the companies in Europe or US, Canada, Australia, and they're getting enough revenue. And like I was talking today also with few owners of the companies, in a closed door meeting, and I asked them that what is your take on the war that is going on? Because even being a pharmaceutical company, we also are not immune to it. We are also suffering because there are supply chain disruptions. We are not getting our raw materials in time. There are the prices of consumables has gone up drastically. So that everything is affecting our work. But you know what they said? They said, we don't mind, but whatever increase is there, we just pass on to our clients. And the clients will pay. So we are unaffected completely. So first time I heard a sector which is completely unaffected by this war that is going on for some time. So this is another thing. These are all distractions. These are all which will eventually affect the human race as a whole. If any new molecule is discovered, whether it is in US or it is in Europe or Australia or in India, the whole human race will be benefited out of it. It's not like that in silos we will be benefited. So that is not going to happen. That's I'm very much scared of.
And sir, how can industry, academia, startups, and policymakers collaborate more effectively to accelerate this pharmaceutical innovation?
That is something which I am very much, bullish about, because certain things I believe that innovation happens more often in very, very small companies, in startups, because the most uniqueness about startups is their agility. They can do things very fast. Where in big companies we have they are bound by their procedures which they have built for good, and that actually slows down the entire process of drug discovery and all, which doesn't happen in small companies. Then we have a wealth of talent in academic setups, whether it is in India and whether in US, everywhere we have huge talent. We have national institutes, we have private institutes, and we have a very, very young population here. Even our faculty members, they are all highly qualified ones. Whenever I go to any academic institute, whether it is a private one or the government one, they are so talented, they are so energetic. And we can always still the system is like one-to-one, that we have collaborations with different academic institutes, with industry. But I always propose that we can always have a consortium sort of thing, where multi academic centers and multi industrial partners can together form a consortium, a cartel, and they can do drug discovery. There, their investment will come down, de-risking will happen, their major investment in capital items, capex expenditure will drastically come down, and all this together, whatever will come, obviously it's very big, very unique thing will come up. Because when a new molecule comes up, it does not gives you hundreds or say thousands of millions, it gives you billions, So, and that there I see the future. And I always talk about, instead of competition, there is a term called co-opetition, where we cooperate together and we reach towards the common goal, where the probability of success is maximum. Instead of the probability, instead of I win, you lose, or you lose, I win, it is like we both win. If we start accepting that reality, that I cannot do it alone, or you cannot do it alone, but if we together collaborate, we can do things, we can do anything. And that is something which I am always very excited about. And I believe miracles can happen if all these common-minded people, they come together and they form the consortium.
So, talking about the national status, India has emerged as a global pharmaceutical powerhouse. So, in your view, what opportunities exist for India today to become a global leader in innovative drug discovery and advanced therapeutics?
Yes. So that I very, very often hear that we are the pharmacy of the world, we are the pharmaceutical powerhouse. But honestly speaking, we are not. What we are doing is historically we are producing only generic medicines. That also the medicines which are not very difficult to do. Medicines we are very good copycats. We are good copiers, but we are not very good innovators. I am not saying India as a race, but I am saying uh, the industry as a whole, the Indian industry as a whole. And the future lies in innovation, whether you do it together or you do it alone, but the future lies in innovation. And few companies already has proved that even they can do it. So the orchid, the first antibiotic which was approved, was discovered by orchid, the first new molecule, new chemical entity by an Indian company. Then came just 2 weeks back the GNH by Occard. That's the second antibiotic. Then there are few other such new molecules in pipeline by some of the big Indian companies. Obviously, these are all like the because of the passion of the promoters of the company. And I always say these are like the oasis in desert. You see, a oasis does not mean that desert does not exist. It actually proves that there is a desert and it is a oasis in the desert. We are inside a desert and there are few oases like Occard, like Orchid, like this. So these are the this is the reality. Our actual revenue share, if you see in the pharma or the biopharma, it is around 4% global revenue. Our share is like that. If you see just one molecule, which you must have heard, Keytruda, pembrolizumab, that had made a business of more than 30 billion US dollar the last year. And our total export from pharma in 2025-26 is 31 billion US dollar. So as a country, we have exported that much, which is comparable to one single molecule revenue. So we are nowhere. Countries like small countries like South Korea is doing new biological entities. They are doing groundbreaking research. Taiwan, Japan, obviously they are into this from long time. You know, after the Second World War, Japan was completely devastated. But still they have recreated everything, and they have today they are like the hub of innovation. You name any good medicine, many of them are discovered by the Japanese people. But the Indian, if you say the Indian pharmaceutical industry, I have to talk about only one or two of these oases, like Occard, like Orchid. The rest all are generic. And then if you talk about the scientific part of the Indian population, you go to US, all the big innovator companies, the discoveries are done by the Indian scientists. And we don't know. You know, the guy who inspired me today, I would like to take this opportunity to tell your viewers, the guy who inspired me the most to become a drug discovery scientist was somebody called Dr. Illaprakata Subbarao. I don't know how many of you know him, but he was an Indian scientist in the British era who first wanted to become a saint. He went to Ramakrishna Mission. He was refused from there. Then he went to become a doctor. He passed. He became a medical doctor from Chennai Medical College, Madras Medical College, and then moved to US. He was not given a license to practice because his degree in India was not valid. And he did a master's. and became a professor there. And later on, he joined Harvard University. And till date, the maximum number of new molecules were discovered by him. He's like an icon. But today I am sitting in Hyderabad, which is his place. But I ask all the people from Andhra and Telangana, but hardly few people know his name. So Indians are great scientists, but because of the lack of the ecosystem which we have built here, this thing is not happening. But fortunately today we are standing in a juncture of history where government is very much supportive. Government is giving a lot of incentive schemes and all those things. And reverse brain drain is happening. People from Indians from US and other countries, they are coming back to India. They are setting up their own startup in India. They are doing all these researches. I know companies in Bangalore, some of them are doing research on new biological entities, and they are at a very, very advanced stage. I know some of the startup companies in Hyderabad as well, they are doing. And I'm sure some of them will become successful in phase 3 as well and come to the market, and there lies the future. So future is very bright. The path may not be so good, but the future is bright. And I am saying once again that there is huge support from the government. The government understands the need, whether it is from the, and obviously the Indian regulators. From the first time in history, at least as far as I know, one scientist is the Drug Controller General of India, which is a great fortune for us. He understands science. He himself has worked from bench till heading the R&D. So he knows everything, and he knows our pain points. So these are the things. I am sure the things are will become brighter in future, and we will become the destination and the hub for pharma and biopharma of the world.
So, looking ahead over the next decade, which emerging technologies do you believe will have the most profound impact on the healthcare and pharmaceutical sciences?
There are a lot of changes that are going to happen. Like so, we do right now have a very, very good portfolio of contrast media used for different imaging techniques, but I can foresee that this contrast media will eventually fade away with AI and all these things coming up. There will be all these 3D imaging techniques, virtual reality. The doctors, the surgeons, they will walk through the organs of human body. They will go to the cellular level. They can view the scans in front of them without using any imaging technology, using any contrast media or anything which has to be injected. They can do that, and with particular precision, accuracy, nanobots. Today, robotic surgery is there. Then there will be the nanobots will be there, which will be in the nano level. They will go and they will do this, perform the surgery instead of cutting and doing all those things. They will go to the particular site. They will just operate the thing, and they will cure the disease and come back. So these things are going to change the paradigm of the therapeutics. Also, the therapeutics will probably, which I feel will take a backstage. It will be more prophylactic things. So preventing the disease, correcting the disease. CRISPR technology is going to become a big thing, which is still at its infancy. So these things will be a front seat. So molecular biology, biotechnology, these are the futures in therapeutics, with better understanding of those molecular biological aspects of human bodies. When we studied anatomy and physiology, but gradually I learned, in my personal interest, I learned molecular biology, human genetics, and all those things. But now the students are studying it in their undergrad level only. And this is the thing. So when you smuggle something, overcoming lot of entry barriers in the body and the physiological barriers which are there in the body to stop something. So you need to have a better understanding of the cell, the tissue, the molecular biology, the physiology in the molecular level, and that is going to happen. Now, so far, most of the drugs work in the extracellular level, but the newer medicines which are coming, they work in the intracellular or even in the nuclear level, in the genetic level. So there, that is the precision, that accuracy, the targeting thing which you talked about, the nanomedicine. That is the future, and there, our kids who are in school and colleges, our students, they are going to play a major role.
Talking about the students, what advice would you offer to the students, researchers, young scientists, aspiring to build meaningful careers in the pharmaceutical innovation, translational research, and the scientific leadership?
See, I give a lot of advices, but the most important thing I see, if you look at me or if you talk to me, probably you understood that I am a dreamer. I always keep dreaming. So I always say that always focus on the basics, the fundamentals. Don't take shortcuts and don't stop dreaming, because a scientist is first of all a dreamer. Everything you conceive an idea, it is just a dream, and then you have to make it to a reality. So don't stop dreaming. Nothing is impossible. Everything is possible.
Very truly said, sir. I also truly believe in this, in this path of that if you can dream it, you can do it. So now, sir, I would like you to involve with us, for a brief rapid fire segment, if you're okay with it.
Yes, absolutely. It
So,
will be fun.
we respond with the very first thought that comes to your mind. We will go with the first question. One technology that will redefine the healthcare in the next decade.
AI.
Okay. One area every pharmaceutical researcher should focus on today.
Pharmacology.
One biggest challenge facing the pharmaceutical industry.
Risk appetite.
One innovation that inspires you the most.
Watson and Crick's double helix model of DNA.
One message for the future pharmaceutical leaders.
One? Sorry, I didn't get it.
One message for the future pharmaceutical leaders.
That's basics. Back to the basics.
Okay. Describe the future of medicine in just one word.
Nanomedicine.
Wow. So, Dr. Datta, thank you so much. Today's conversation has been remarkable exploration of scientific innovation, translational research, and the future trajectory of the healthcare. So, from advanced drug delivery systems and nanomedicine to RNA therapeutics, gene delivery, and precision healthcare, your insights have offered our audience a very profound understanding of how pharmaceutical innovation is reshaping the future of medicine. And your journey actually serves as a powerful statement to the fact that groundbreaking healthcare solutions emerge when scientific curiosity is coupled with visionary leadership and relentless perseverance. So, on behalf of PharmiVon MEDIA LLP and BioXyra Summit 2026, I extend our deepest gratitude for your invaluable time, wisdom, and contributions. It has truly been a privilege and an honor hosting you, sir. And to our viewers joining us from across the world, across the globe, thank you for being the part of this exclusive conversation. We hope today's discussion inspires researchers, students, healthcare professionals, and future innovators. to push the boundaries of what is possible and contribute meaningfully to the advancement of global healthcare. Until then, this is Prerna Kaul and I'm signing off. Stay curious, as I say, stay compliant, stay committed to innovation, and remember the medicines of tomorrow are conceived in the imagination of today's scientists and realized through the courage to innovate beyond convention. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for joining
Thank
us
you. My
today
pleasure.
and have a wonderful day ahead, sir.
PharmiVon Media, your voice in pharma and healthcare media.